Hey, what's going on everyone? Nick Christelim here from Mixdown Online. Once again, very happy to be here, collaborating with CCLI on this video series on how to record your music and worship songs from home so you can share them with your worship team. So, if you're a worship leader, a church musician, or music director, and you're a bit confused with home recording and how you can produce your own music from home, this video series is for you. So I'm going to encourage you to watch the first 3 videos of this series. Links are down below. All right, so now let's jump in Cubase Elements and continue from where we left off the last time. On the last video, we recorded some acoustic and electric guitars and also a lead vocal. Since then, I've recorded the bass guitar and also a couple of keyboards. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can mix those tracks all together so everything makes sense. And then I'm going to show you how you can export that into one stereo file so you can send that song or arrangement to your worship team. Okay, so now let's start by working on a balance mix. Okay, I just want to balance the tracks, the recordings that I have at the moment. So I'm first going to start with the drums. I'm going to bring up the drums, then the bass and the vocal. And then I'm going to blend in the acoustic guitars and electric guitars and all the keyboards as well. So let's start up. Let's go to the last part of the song. Okay, so my goal here is just to balance the volume of each track so everything works well together. On paper with that balance mix, I can just export that and send that to my team. But I just want to dig just a bit and show you what can be done as far as mixing goes within Cubase Elements. Okay, now first what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that all of my events, okay, my audio events are well crossfades between 2 separate events, just to avoid getting some glitches and clicks and stuff that can happen with a bad edit. So for example, if I look at these 2 events from the electric guitar track, if I solo my guitar track, just going to listen to that part. Okay, so I'm going to smooth that up by selecting those 2 events. And as you can tell, there's an overlap region here, okay? That means that one of the events is overlapping on top of the other. So I'm going to select those 2 events, click on X, and that will create a crossfade. Okay, by adding that crossfade between those 2 events, that is going to smooth up the transition. Okay, very smooth. So this is the stuff I do while editing my tracks after I'm done recording. So I did the same here with the acoustic guitar. Now, if we look at the beginning of the track, we have an empty space here where the guitar is not playing. So it's kind of an empty spot that I'm going to get rid of by selecting the range selection tool. I'm just going to select the first part of that event, click on delete. That will delete that part of the event where there is no sound that I need anyway. So there's only noise and stuff. So I want to avoid keeping that into my project. Then something I can do is just to add a quick fade in by just dragging to the right, if I want to fade in to the right, the top left corner of an event. That is going to create a fade in. And I can do the same for a fade out by doing the opposite, the corner top right side of that event, and just slide that to the left, and that will create a fade out. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to work on my lead vocal. If I want my vocal to sit better within the music, I can tone shape my sound with some equalization. That will work on the frequencies. If I have some problematic frequencies, I can fix that up with an EQ. And also if I want to enhance my sound, I can also use an EQ. So to add an effect on a track. What you need to do is to select the track, go on the left zone, click on the Insert tab, and then you have some empty spaces that you can select, and you can just insert a plugin. So let's select Steinberg, go down to EQ, select the Studio EQ. So this is gonna insert this EQ plugin on my track directly as an inserted plugin. So from that point on, if I need to tone shape my sound, I can do it with this plugin. So let's have a quick listen in solo.
Clare, clare.
So let me just add a low cut filter. So that will just attenuate all the frequencies below a chosen frequency. And this one is set up at, let's set that up at 109 Hertz.
Clare, clare.
And I'm just gonna tame down a bit of the low mids, okay, because it sounds a bit boxy to my taste.
Clare, clare, clare.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it this way for now. I'm gonna listen in the context of the music. I'm gonna boost a bit at around 5 or 5K or so. Okay, just to add a bit of crispiness to my vocal. Now, next, something you can do if you want to just work on the dynamics of that vocal is to use a compressor, okay? So I'm going to add a compressor right after my EQ, and I'm going to go down again to Steinberg, Dynamics, Compressor. And this is what I'm going to get. So what a compressor will do, it's like an automated volume knob, okay, that will bring down the high peaks of the signal and bring up the lower, the quieter parts of that signal, okay? So bring all those two extremes a bit more in the middle, so your sound and in this case, your vocal sound will be more stable. So let's set the compressor up.
Clare, clare, clare. Honneur et puissance, que ton nom soit exalté sur terre et dans.
Okay, so now as you can see, I have some gain reduction going on. So every time the signal goes past the threshold point, it is going to bring down my signal. Okay, so this is basically what the compressor will do. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details on how a compressor works, but this is basically what it does. So it is going to smooth up the dynamics of that vocal. So this way, the vocal will sit even better within the music. Okay, that's good. Now, something else that you can do to improve the sound of your rough mix is to add some space to your instruments, especially the vocals and also the guitars, like the acoustic guitars anyways. So let's work on the vocals. So I want to add some space, so that means I'm going to add a reverb. Now, this time, I'm not going to add the reverb as an insert plugin, but instead, I'm going to create myself an effects channel track and insert that reverb on that track. And then I'm going to send my vocal signal in parallel to that track, okay? So this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on the Add Track option on top, select Effects, and I'm going to go and look for a reverb out of these Steinberg plugins and select RoomWorks SE. I'm going to keep that one in stereo. I want this to be a stereo reverb. I'm going to call it Reverb. That's simple, add track. And there you go, I have my reverb at the bottom. So I can load a preset, okay, that is available on this plugin, or I can just tweak that up myself, okay? So like, for example, let me just come up with a quick reverb preset that I can build for myself. So let me just set something up quickly. And there you go, I think that is going to do the job for now. Then I'm going to click on my vocal track, and this time instead of using the Insert tab, I'm going to go down to the Sends tab, and now I'm going to also have some empty spaces where I can send my signal to, okay? So this time I'm going to select Reverb. Now I'm selecting that Reverb Effects channel track as a destination, okay, to send my signal over. I'm going to activate that, and this is the amount of signal that I'm sending to this channel. And this is how it sounds like. Okay, now there's a lot of signal going into that reverb. If I want to just tone down the amount of reverb, what I can do is to bring down the fader, the reverb's fader. That's one way I can do it. But the thing is, I want to use that reverb for other tracks. So I'm going to keep that at 0. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to send less signal, less of my vocal into that reverb. So I'm going to bring that down. And I'm going to make my decision according to how it sounds like within the music. Okay, now we can sense that there's some space around that vocal, and that blends way better within the music. Okay, now let's say I'm happy with the rough and quick mix that I just did, and I'm ready to send that out to my worship team. Okay, now if I want to bounce that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have to set up the left and right locators on my project window in Cubase. So I'm going to select one event, click on P, and that by itself is going to set up the left and right locators. Okay, I'm just going to tweak that up. Okay, so I'm going to bring the first one, the left one, to the beginning of the music, and then the end. I'm going to make sure I cover the entire outro. All right, so now I'm good to bounce. Okay, now I'm going to click on File, Export, and Audio Mixdown. And I'm going to write a file name. This is the first thing I'm going to do. So the title of the song. And since this is an arrangement that I want other people to listen to, I'm going to add the BPM of the song part of the title of the song. Okay, so now I know that my BPM, which is the tempo of the song, is set up to 78 beats per minute. So I'm just going to add that up at the end of my song title. So this way my collaborators will look at this song title and will know right away what is the tempo of the song. And then I'm going to have to select a file path, a location where I want to bounce that mix. And I'm going to select MP3. I don't need something higher than that, only for this purpose. For a full production, a professional production and mixing session, I will definitely use a WAV format, okay? But for what we're doing today, MP3 is good. It's going to end up being an easier file to transfer because the size is smaller than a WAV file. Then what I need to check is to make sure that monodown mix is not checked on, okay, because I want to send out a stereo mix. That's it, I'm ready to export. I'm going to click on Perform Audio Export. So there you go, now my song has been exported into an MP3 file that I can send out to my worship team. Now you know how to work a quick and simple rough mix of a simple piece of music in Cubase Elements. Now I hope that was helpful, especially if you're new to this. So there you go, my friends, this is going to be the end of this video series. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to share, to like, and to subscribe to the CCLI YouTube channel. God bless you, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye-bye.